we've been talking about, the White House is concerned with playing down concerns about the health of President Biden, who's apparently taken to freezing during public events. Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni was seen herding the president back into a photo with world leaders after he shuffled aimlessly away from the group. In the last few days, videos and images of the president freezing at a fundraising event went viral, but the White House stated that they were deceptively edited cheap fakes. With me now, again, is my panel, the historian and broadcaster Tessa Dunlop and the associate comment editor of The Telegraph, Mutaz Ahmed. Mutaz, I mean, you are a journalist. What about this idea that in some way the images could be fake?
They could be fake, and some of them will be fake. But the reason these AI images or AI videos or weirdly edited videos are a problem for the White House is that people have seen enough of Biden freezing in real life and actually being...
Sorry, how do you know we've seen him freezing in real life if it could be AI?
Well, we've seen it in his speeches. We saw it in the last campaign. There are enough videos of him freezing on a news channel, during commentary that people have seen that makes it believable that he would do it again. So that's why, and it's the quantity of videos that's a problem for them. When there's a large quantity and a small number of them are AI and a much bigger chunk are real, then the AI almost becomes irrelevant. And that's their big issue.
Tessa, do you think it was an effective tactic by the White House to say these are AI deceptive fakes?
I suppose I was looking at that press conference. I felt very sorry for the messenger who was asked to sort of shovel it under the carpet because in many respects it drew attention to it. It's not going away, this one. It's perception versus reality, but as Mustafa said, it doesn't matter because it's now become Biden's reality, which is bushfighting these questions about his ability connected to his age. And I don't understand where you go from here. He's got a vice president who isn't presidential material, who I think polls worse than he does, despite these, you would call them ageist. In many ways, it's about his competence, isn't it, Michael? I mean, you may well laugh, but I Googled you, if you'll forgive me. I discovered you're a whole decade younger and fresher than our American president. Do you feel in a decade's time, even if you were as pompous as are you and I, you could be leading the free world, going up for election?
Well, I think that depends entirely on the individual. But what we're dealing with in the case of Biden is what we think is evidence that the man is having trouble holding it together in public.
Yeah, but I would even argue, even if he wasn't, and I agree that is what these videos suggest, and more broadly comments that he wasn't the man he once was and briefings that get leaked and commentary from his own side. But even if he wasn't, I would ask, in 10 years, would that be the time of your life when we're looking down the barrel of a deeply worrying world that your Defence Evening Standard man, Robert Fox, just outlined? Is he the man to lead that? And would you be the man in 10 years' time?
But Mutaz, the two presidential candidates are fairly close to each other in age. I mean, it looks to me as if there's a bit of a difference in their capability and performance. And then I suppose the question is, does the condition of the president make enough difference for him to lose? I mean, at the moment, it's looking a bit tricky for Trump to put together the sort of coalition that would carry him over the line. Can the condition of the president, I suppose, lead at least to a number of people not voting, which might get Trump over the line? What do you think?
It can make a big difference when the president whose mental competence is under question, is running on the matter of competence itself. They're trying to paint Trump as being incompetent, as being not presidential, as being unable to lead, while they have a candidate who struggles to get off the stage. Yeah. That's the issue for them. And it's not really about age. He's not much older than Trump, as you say. It's about the appearance of age. And Biden's biggest issue, I think, is we can compare him over the decades. He's been in politics so long that we can actually track his deterioration. And so it becomes undoubtable that something has happened.
But see, here
and sadly, one sees in Dear Friends that conditions, once they get underway, can move quite rapidly.
But here I think that we're being a bit disingenuous because we're also afraid of being ageist. I refuse to believe that you would concede in 10 years' time it's the best time for you to go forward and lead the free world. 81-year-olds, I was talking, in fact, to Robert in the green room, and he was sitting in between the ages of Biden and of Trump. And he agreed that, he's still a very good writer, but perhaps doesn't have quite as rich a vocabulary as he once did have. That might have an advantage as a journalist, because you can write shorter and faster, but it doesn't necessarily if you are trying to face down, I think, the most dangerous set of geopolitical circumstances we've seen since the 1930s.
I dare say most of us wish that the American people had served up a better choice than they have.
Yeah.
But this is what we're faced with. Mutaz, let me put you on the spot. Do you think it's going to make the difference in the presidential campaign?
I think it will. I think Trump...
You think it will?
I think it will. But can I just say to you, I think Keir Starmer's too old to be Prime Minister. He's much younger than Joe Biden, but he has the appearance of a tired man. I think Donald Trump is not too old to be president. So it's more about appearance.
To an extent. I would just worry about his ability to travel in that aeroplane. You know, he's got a lot of countries to cover.
Very, very interesting last remark from Mutaz, who revealed to me earlier that he was born in my constituency, but after I was defeated. Is that right? After I was defeated.